want to be at the dress rehearsal. That's where we learn our part.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let me go back to 2014 and 15, because we're talking about the blood moons.
Sure.
This is just such a significant point in time in human history that we're looking at. And what I say to people, Pastor, is, every generation has had a sign or signs. Hitler was there, earthquakes, wars, but we're the only generation that has all the signs.
Exactly.
We have especially Israel, but we have a convergence of all the signs. So going back to Christopher Columbus, who was a Jew, and many people don't know that, but here's the way I've seen the blood moons, because there's 1492, 1493, 1949, 1950, 1967, 1968, and then 2014 and 15. So we understand the first three. But here's the way that I look at it. The 1492 and 1493 was the beginning of God bringing his holy people together. This is the first time since the AD 70 that we see the first beginnings of a gathering there. 1949, 1950 is the Holy Land. The Jews get back the Holy Land. 1967, 1968 is the Holy City of Jerusalem. 2014, 2015 that's the one, to me, is the Holy Temple. There has been, since in the last 3 months, there's been 11,000 Jews ascend the Temple Mount to pray, the most since 2,000 years ago. Okay, and so we're seeing a great activity in Jerusalem, the Temple Institute, the Temple Mount Faithful, different people. So what do you think about the feast of 2014 and 15? What do they mean? Is it significant for the temple? Does it have any other significance?
I think it definitely could be temple related. The way I look at it from hindsight, I did mention this back then as well. But if you remember Joseph's dream, and Joseph was a type of the Messiah, there was 7 years of plenty followed by the 7 years of famine. I believe the 2014-2015 lunar tetrad was a warning of the 7-year cycle. When it ended, we would begin the 7-year famine or tribulation, which is why 2022 is so significant.
Okay, so the Shemitahs, and if you wouldn't mind talking about it again. So this is a Shemitah year that we're in right now.
Yes.
Now, when we say 2021, 2022, the Jewish year begins, and their civil year begins the Rosh Hashanah.
Yes.
In September.
Yes.
Okay, so their new year began in September, and so now between now and next September, this is a Shemitah year. This is the 7th year.
Yes.
And you believe now again that the tribulation has to begin at the beginning of a Shemitah cycle, which is next September.
Exactly. And I have a chart here. One of the things that I want to mention is how significant the first year of a Shemitah cycle is, and which will begin October of next year, right after Rosh Hashanah, because we're in the 7th year. But did you know both temples, Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the temple and Rome destroyed the temple, both in the first year of a Shemitah cycle?
Wow.
So both temples were destroyed then. The 1967 Six-Day War happened in the first year of a Shemitah cycle. The Yom Kippur War happened in the first year of a Shemitah cycle. Israel took out the Iraq nuclear reactor in the first year of a Shemitah cycle. The first Intifada was in the first year of a Shemitah cycle. The Israel-Jordan peace treaty was the first year of a Shemitah cycle. That's when the quartet began that wanted to divide the land. And I believe they represent the 4 horns in Zechariah that keep the land divided. And then the Gaza war and, of course, the stock market crash also happened the first year of a Shemitah cycle. And then we have the 2014-2015 blood moons, which was the end of a Shemitah cycle going into the beginning of a Shemitah cycle. And one other point I want to make, you can only blow the shofar on the year of in the year of Jubilee. Now, you got to remember, there's 49 years or 7 cycles. The year of Jubilee is always the first year of the next Shemitah cycle.
Right.
Well, 1973 Yom Kippur War, Yom Kippur is the day they blow the shofar announcing the year of Jubilee. on Yom Kippur. And then we have the Yom Kippur War. Well, I believe that was probably a Jubilee year, which means next year also is a Jubilee year.
Oh my gosh. So you believe if the tribulation does not begin next year, it has to wait till the next Shemitah cycle?
Exactly. It has to begin because Daniel's Jewish.
Sure.
Okay. Well, too often Christians see the 7-year time period, they know, but it's not any random year. It can't start today. It can't start, on any Rosh Hashanah. It has to begin the first year of a Shemitah cycle.
So the next year being the beginning of a Shemitah cycle and Jubilee.
Exactly.
I mean, that's
huge.
just huge.
This is huge.
Yeah. And so, when you talk about the Shemitah year, you're going by the Jewish calendar.
Of course. And the way we know it's a Shemitah year is the Hebrew year is divisible by 7. It's really simple.
Yeah. And I heard you say that one time, and it embarrassed me. It was so simple. I was like, why didn't I think of that? But so next year is a huge, huge year, and that's what you're saying. Yeah.
I tell you what, all your listeners need to get ready.
Well, I have a very special announcement, and that is I've been telling you for a while that we have a new book coming out that's called Where Are the Missing People? And it's a book that you leave behind for people who are left behind after the rapture. This is something that would tell them what just happened. It explains the rapture to them. It leads them to the Lord. It tells them how to be baptized, how to, read the Word of God, how to, navigate the end times, the things that are happening in the world during the tribulation, the things that are going to happen. It literally is just a survival guide for people who have been left behind and are living during the tribulation. I know you have family members and friends and just people maybe that you don't know, but they're going to be going through your stuff. If you're a Christian and you have been raptured, they're going to be in your home, they're going to be in your office, they're going to be in your car. And we want to give you the opportunity to have this book that you can have laying around that says, where are the missing people? That's where the number one question that's going to be on people's minds after the rapture is, where are the missing people? Where all those people go? So this is a book that you can prominently display, and it's an attractive book that you can prominently display in your home, in your office, in your bedroom, in your car, wherever you want to put it, to where people would be able to find it after the rapture and during the tribulation to lead them to the Lord and give them instruction on how to navigate those unbelievably difficult days. Now, if you're a subscriber to endtimes.com, we're going to give you a free ebook. Okay, you don't have to pay anything for it. We'll give you.
I see their faces in the dark, fear locked in their eyes. More young men stumble to my door with barely half their lives. And as I mend them up again, I hide the scars they leave. But deep inside, there's nowhere left for me to truly grieve. Feel so empty, dead inside, though I give all I can. Each gentle touch, each whispered word, each fleeting trembling hand. The pain I carry's mine alone. No self can reach that deep. I'm haunted by the lives I've saved, the ones I couldn't keep. Oh God, why does it hurt so bad? Why does it linger on? The wounds no one else can see, the hope so quickly gone. I feel the weight of every life that slips through my embrace. Like the wound I tend, I'll never mend, my soul will not erase. Feel so empty, dead inside, though I give all I can. Each gentle touch, each whispered word, each fleeting trembling hand. The pain I carry's mine alone. No